Hello there, everyone. Welcome to a Facebook Live with Daryl Walter of Pickled Peppers Creative Cafe at pickledpepperscreativecafe.com. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. Welcome, welcome. Come on into the cafe. Today is Thursday, August 12th, and today is the day that I come to you and bring a little bit of crafty. We do a crafty project or two. So here we are today on Thursday getting crafty. So welcome, come on in. Happy Thursday, Beth. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. So super excited that you're here. Happy Friday Eve. So, hey, something. If you live in the Midwest, Beth, did you survive the storms last night? They were something, weren't they? I'm not sure if you were awake during the storms, but they were pretty loud, and it went on for quite a while. So hopefully, if you're anywhere in the Midwest and you heard that storm last night, it didn't scare you too bad, and hopefully everything is good and no downed trees or anything. We were fortunate. We have a little bit of puddling in our backyard, or pooling, but we have that. So yes, I see Amy is here. Hi, Amy. Happy Friday Eve. Happy Friday Eve. So excited that you're here. Come on in. All right, so as per usual, I am going to see if I can get my other device up and going so that I can show you or I can see what I'm showing you. I always get that kind of mixed up. But so I can see what I'm showing you. I like to see my hands, and I am a little bit, I move things around a little bit here on my desktop, so I'm just a little bit mixed up with repositioning. So Beth says that she was up all night and she loved it. You are right, Beth. The one thing about it is something about storms are really calming. So it was calming and unsettling at the same time, if you know what I mean. It was just so very loud, and it went on for such a long time. I have never heard a storm, I don't think, that lasted quite so long. So it was nice. The windows were open, the breeze was nice, but it was just this much scary, I think, just this much. So let's see, I am gonna have to get my other device over here. I think I'm gonna have to use my iPad because I'm not immediately seeing my connection here. Or maybe I can get my connector out here so that I can see what I'm showing you. Let's see. I have some wires. Let's see where they're going. So other than that, hopefully you guys are having a fantastic week. Today it was actually pretty warm too. Pretty muggy. It's pretty warm, and I think it's going to be like that for the next few days, but we will see. Hi, Anna. Yes, I have not. So Beth asked me if I had cuddled with my new baby. Hi, Anna. Happy Friday Eve. Thank you so much for being here. So happy you're here. Come on in. I have not, Beth, yet had the opportunity to snuggle with the new baby. I have snuggled with her over FaceTime every day, but I have not actually had the opportunity to hold her and snuggle with her. She had a little bit of a rough start, but she is doing fantastic, and she's beautiful. I have a new granddaughter, for those of you who don't know. So she's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for that. All right, so today I have a couple of announcements for you. So I'll go ahead and turn down just a couple of reminders, and then I have 2 cards for you tonight. So let's go ahead and get turned down. We'll get started because I want to make sure that I have, they're super simple cards, but I want to make sure that I have time to complete them with you. So let's go ahead and turn down. I'll chat for just a little bit, and then we'll get started, okay? Here we go. One moment. Let's get going down. Okay. Here we go. Let's kind of line us up here and tighten us up so that we don't move. Okay, is that a good spot? I think that we're in a good spot. Does that look good, you guys? If it does, let me know. I want them on there. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to remind you of is that today, or not today, registration is open for my monthly card class. Registration is open until tomorrow. So card class is next Saturday, I believe, or the 21st, I think. But registration is going to close on Friday. So that's one reminder that I had for you. Another reminder that I had for you is that on September 10th, it is on a Friday, I am hosting Crafty Bingo online. Bingo, if you haven't attended, is super, super fun. It's on a Friday night. We play 4 games of bingo, or 5, 4 or 5. We make 4 make and take projects. So registration for that is open. And it closes on August 16th. So if you need details for that, they are here in the event section on my business page. So I wanted to remind you of that as well. Let's see, let's make sure I'm turned down here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so those are the only 2 reminders that I had for you tonight. So why don't we go ahead and get started creating. So tonight, the stamp set that I am using is from the mini catalog. It's from our new mini July through December catalog, and it is the Nuts About Squirrels, if you haven't seen this cute little thing. So it's the Nuts About Squirrels. We're going to be using that. Super, super cute. It is in, let's see, let's show you. So we have a new mini catalog. Let's see what page it's on. I can show you that. If you are familiar with our catalog, there's a glossary in the back that tells you where all the bundles and stamp sets and that are. And you can kind of look, if you're familiar with it, and get a snippet of the pictures. Actually, here it is. So it's on page 49. There it is. So it is the Nuts About Squirrel, and it's only $17. So you see that? So $17 for this cute little stamp set. This is what we're using today. Okay? Out of the new mini catalog. So some of the stamps I've already got mounted. Let's grab our crafting supplies and we'll get started with card number 1. Okay, so for card number 1, I think I'm going to do a little bit of cutting here. Also, just a reminder, everything that I used tonight is available on my online store, so there will be a link above in the description after the live. And also, while I am creating, sometimes it's hard to keep up with the comments, but if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave them. We can chat away. I'll answer them when I see them, and I'll definitely answer them after the live. So that as well as I will put dimensions for tonight's projects. I will put them in the description above as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. In addition to the Nuts About Squirrels, I'm using the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. Let me go ahead and show you that as well. If you have not seen, let's show you. So it's Beauty of the Earth, and I think I have most of the patterns right here. So let me go ahead and show you those. I've been using them, as you can see. So here I'm missing 1. No, I'm missing 2 patterns. So here are 4 of them. And here's the reverse side. And then let's grab the other two just so you can kind of see it. This one, isn't this beautiful? Look at the rich fall colors in there. I love this designer series paper. And then look at the trees. So it kind of looks, if you look down at it, it looks like you took a snapshot up at the sky and you can see the treetops. Isn't that what that looks like? I love it. So there's one, and then, oh, here's the other one that we were missing. So these are the designer series papers that I'm using, or the pack, which is Beauty of the Earth. And it is all trees, so if you know me, you know that I love it. Let's go ahead and get started with card number 1. So for card number 1, this is the pattern, the one that I said I loved. And I paired it with the Mary Merlot Cajun Craze and basic white. So I have some circles here, and then I have a piece of the designer series paper, and we are going to cut this to 5 by 3 3/4, I believe. I have a piece of Cajun Craze, and we're going to cut that into a mat. And then the card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and it is the basic white. So this is our card base. And while we're at the card base, let's go ahead and fold it in half and burnish it with my bone folder. If you're new to card making, a bone folder is amazing to have, and what it does is it just tightens your crease so that your projects lay flat. So, and then let's bring in the paper trimmer, because the piece of designer series paper, we're going to cut that, and we're going to cut the Cajun Craze as well. So again, the designer series paper, I'm going to cut it to 3.5 by 5. I'm trying to decide, looking at the trees on the back, which way I want them to be. I want the long side, so I think I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4. So what I'm saying is I want the trees to be tall, so I'll cut it at 3 3/4, and then I'll cut it 5 this way, and that way I have a lot of the trees. And actually I want that treetop, so let's go ahead and cut it here. And we'll put that aside. Nice. And then our Cajun Craze, let's go ahead and grab that. And this is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So the designer series paper is going to be just 1/4 of an inch shorter than the mat that I'm creating here, because I'm going to put one on top of each other. But I'm going to do something before I do that. I am going to go ahead, I'm going to cut this piece of designer series paper, and I'm going to cut it off at 2. And let's see, I want the shorter side to the top. So off the top of it, I'm going to cut a 2-inch piece. So now I have 2 pieces, and I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to use both sides like that. And then we'll mat it the way that I said we were going to. All right. I lost my Stampin' Dimensionals. I can't do that. These are way important. If you don't have Stampin' Dimensionals, get them. They're double-sided foam, and they make things pop up. You sometimes hear people call them pop dots. So if you're not familiar with these are amazing. You'll want them. All right, so let's go ahead and get creating our card. I have the treetop, so I want that at the top. If you're using a designer series paper that's directional, make sure that you pay attention to that when you're making this card. It is directional for me because the tree peaks, I want them at the top because, well, that's where they are in real life. They're going to be at the top. So, all right, so I'm going to add a little adhesive here. I am enamored, enthralled with this designer series paper. Isn't it beautiful? Do you guys like the fall colors? That is so rich. I love it. Fall is, I like summer. I like all of the seasons actually. In the Midwest here, it changes. We have 4 seasons, and I like all of the seasons, but fall is my favorite. I love the foods. I love that the clothes change, and you can wear sweaters and hoodies and fun boots, and I don't know. I just like it. All right. So this piece, we're going to butt it right up to the other piece of designer series paper, like this. So here we have the one mat of designer series paper that was 3 3/4 by 5, and I cut a 2-inch piece off, and then we adhered them together. That is one of my designing tricks when I'm making cards. It is just it's an easy and quick way to have a good design and to show a lot of designer series paper. I love it. All right, so the ribbon I am using, I'm going to be using the faux suede trim. So let's, oh here, I have an open one. I am using the faux suede trim. It is early espresso, so it's pretty dark brown, and it matches the trees, which there are very little of the tree branches showing, but it's enough to pull it out, to pull that color out. So I'm gonna grab a length of this, and I'm gonna tie it in a bow. So let's grab some scissors. I'm going to need those as well. Okay, so let's go ahead. What I'm doing is covering the seam here. So I'm gonna cover the seam with the ribbon. And if you wanted to, you could add glue dots, or you could even take your double-sided adhesive and put it on the back of the ribbon so it sticks right to your designer series paper. I'm not going to do that, but if you wanted to, you could do that. Another thing that you could do, let me show you this, is, no, I better not do it because I might want to change the ribbon, but if you left the tails of your ribbon a little bit longer, you could tie this in a knot so that when you're tying your bow, you're not trying to hold it in place while you're tying. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not sure if my ribbon is long enough. I think it is, but I'm not exactly sure, so I'm not going to do it. Oh, did I lose my tail? Yes, I did. Lost my tail. Let's try this again. You see that? That's exactly why I didn't do it. But sometimes I do it. I will leave the ribbon tails a little longer than I need them to be. But I don't like to waste ribbon. I don't know. I don't like to get to the end of the roll of ribbon and have maybe just barely enough for a project, but not quite enough. That bugs me. All right, I'm not gonna get that as flat as I want it. So we're gonna go ahead and we will cut the ends off. We're gonna leave it just the way it is. We'll call that good enough. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is, let's go ahead and do some stamping. That's sitting up because I got it twisted. I knew something was weird about that, but that's okay. Well, we're not gonna worry about it. Let's go ahead and bring in our basic white circle, and we're gonna stamp directly onto the circle. So I am going to use, if you notice on the stamp set, there's an outline for the squirrel, and then there's another stamp to color him in. I'm going to use this squirrel with the acorn because he is so cute and I like him. So I'm going to use this one, and I've gone ahead and mounted it, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like before. And then also I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. because the stamps are photopolymer, so they're clear and there's not any cushion there. Actually, that's the wrong squirrel. Let's use this one. Here he is. There's not any cushion. So in order to get a good stamped impression, we need a little bit of cushion. So I'm using my Stampin' Pierce Matte, which is foam, that will give us that extra cushion that we need. And then I'm going to stamp the outline of the squirrel using Early Espresso, which is a dark brown. So let's go ahead and ink up the squirrel here, and I'm going to stamp him right in the center. There we go. Oh, so cute. This is the second time I've used him. He's really cute. Okay, and we'll close our ink up. And then, let's see, I'm gonna color, let's make him, gosh, there are all kinds of colors in that designer series paper. If you look at the back of the designer series paper, it will tell you what colors coordinate and were used in that paper pack. And so I pulled out a couple. I am going to use, though, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the Cajun Craze. I don't know, my background circle is Mary Merlot, but let's go ahead and color the squirrel in with Cajun Craze. Let's see, I pulled that out. Okay, and so here's our the inside of the squirrel that we're going to color in. Oh, look at ink on my hands. Can tell that I've been busy, huh? Let's go ahead and let me tell you something about this Cajun Craze too. If you have not stamped with it, at least in my experience, we used it not that long ago, maybe last week or the week before. It stamps very dark, but it dries closer to the actual color. I'm just gonna bring this towards me a little bit so I can see through. I wanna make sure that I stamp his eyes and ears in the right spot. Anything else I'm not extra concerned about, but I want his eyes and his ears to be in the right place, especially the eyeball, because we don't want him to have a reddish looking eyeball. Oh, look at there. Isn't that cute? Look at that little squirrel. He is so, so cute. And you see what I mean about his eye? So thank you for the love. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I got his eye on there pretty good. Woohoo! That was a little bit stressful. We have a little more stamping to do. Not only are we going to stamp a sentiment, but we can stamp his acorn in. There are little parts for the acorn, so I have them. No, I have two different ones. Let's take this off so we can see. So this fills in the acorn, and then let's see where the little top to the acorn is. Oh, still inside of the case. So we're gonna stamp the top of the acorn first, and I am going to use, I'm gonna use crumb cake. And I'm gonna stamp that, ink it up full color, and we're going to line it up and stamp right over top of it. There we go. And then let's take this off and we'll bring in the actual acorn. And have you ever seen an acorn that is not quite done yet? So it's not really brown, it's kind of greenish. I used to collect acorns. I used to be able to whistle, I'm sorry. I can whisper pretty good too. But I used to be able to whistle pretty good. Actually, this is the wrong color. That's pretty dark. Hey, let's go ahead and go with it. So Mossy Meadow is what I have. I was going to use Old Olive. Let's go ahead and do the Mossy Meadow. So I've inked up with the green, and I'm going to just stamp it off one time to take away the excess. And then let's line it up with the acorn, and stamp it so it's a little green. It's like a fresh acorn that hasn't cooked all the way. Oh yes, my gosh, Anna, they are all over. So Anna says that the squirrels, thank you, Anna. Yes, the paper, I love this paper. I love it, love it, love it. Anna says that she has squirrels all over her yard. Oh no, acorns all over her. Oh, your dogs are eating acorns? She has acorns all over her yard and the dogs are eating them. Funny, I have a dog that likes acorns, Anna, but mostly the squirrels do. And my husband picks the acorns up and he puts them in a bucket, and then in the middle of winter he throws handfuls of them out into the yard for the squirrels. Funny that your dogs are eating acorns. Okay, so here this is. I was going to say that I used to collect acorns when I was little, and I'd take the tops off and I could whistle pretty good with them and pretty good without them. I don't whistle so good anymore, but all right, so this is what we're doing for the actual image. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to adhere these flat. Actually, I'm going to use dimensionals to add it to the card front, but I'm going to put this layer on flat. And then let's bring in our card base. And I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to pop the squirrel up. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And we'll move them. Oh, I guess he can go in the middle. No, I don't want them right in the middle. Let's put them to the side a little bit. Okay. And then the very last thing we have to do is stamp our sentiment. So I have a couple of circles for that, a Cajun Craze and a basic white. And I am going to use the sentiment Nuts About You. And I'm going to do it in the Early Espresso. So let's go ahead and grab that back out. Ink it up pretty good. Once again, if I were you, the easiest thing to do would be to stamp the sentiment and then cut it out. But I am actually going to do the opposite. So there we go. We have our sentiment, and I think I'm going to put the sentiment down flat because I've already added dimension to the squirrel. So let's just put it here. I think that's a good place for it. Alrighty. Let's bring in our card base. We can get rid of the Stampin' Pierce mat for a moment and add a little dimension here. I should actually twist the ribbon around, but it's okay. You get it. You get the idea, I'm sure. I would be a little bit fussy. I am loose about some things, but this is the kind of thing that would cause me to have OCD. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with it for now. And to be honest, I don't think it would even really make that big of a deal because it's laying pretty flat. But I'm OCD about some things. That's kind of one of them. All right, and so here is card number 1. Isn't that squirrel so cute? I love him. Very fall, and of course, you don't need a liner on the inside. You would just stamp your sentiment on the inside. I'm going to leave it blank for now, but this is card number 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys so much for the likes and love. Thank you, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with card number 2. Let's see, I have supplies here. So I'm going to be using, let's see, the technical name for this is diagonal stripe ribbon. It is Mossy Meadow. If you like this ribbon, it's on clearance. It's retiring. So I'm not sure if it's in the clearance rack, but it is on clearance. I did see that. I looked it up today. I love this ribbon though. This is really good for the holidays too. Very, very nice. So we're going to be using this. We have another basic white die cut circle, and then we have I believe this is Bumblebee die cut circle, and then we have a piece of designer series paper. It is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and then we have Mossy Meadow for the card base. This is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and then we have another mat that is 3 3/4 by 5, I believe. All right, so let's set all of this aside. We have a little bit of stamping. Actually, we need this layer. We're going to set this aside for a moment. We're going to set aside our ribbon for a moment as well. Let's bring back in our Stampin' Pierce mat. And then there is an oak leaf. I think this is an oak leaf. You guys tell me, is this an oak leaf? It makes perfect sense, because there are acorns in this set. So you guys can let me know if this is an oak leaf, but I believe that it is. Let's see if I can see your comments. There we go. That would bug you too. Yeah, Beth, it does bug me. So I think this is an oak leaf. We're gonna take this, the Mossy Meadow, and we're going to stamp tone on tone. We're going to stamp that little leaf. Let's grab the Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to go randomly just around the outside of this layer with the Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to make kind of a border, and let's see if I can line that up. Oh, not too shabby. That is the nice thing about photopolymer, being able to see through the stamp. And I'm gonna kind of randomly just stamp these leaves. I'm pretty sure they're oak leaves, right around the entire perimeter of this card mat. So a little bit of stamping, but the nice thing about it is it's random. And the tone on tone is nice too. I kind of like that. And I like it for, you know, technically we're summer, but I like it for the fall. And it is actually time for us to start thinking about fall crafts, because it is coming pretty quickly upon us. Okay, we're almost there. Whew! Marathon going around this outside. It's like going around it's like when you were a kid riding your bicycle around the block. That's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I'm riding my bicycle of leaves around the block, and we're almost there. There we go. Okay, so that's what that layer looks like. Let's go ahead and close up our Mossy Meadow. And then let's bring in, why don't we go ahead and, since we're stamping, let's get our squirrel out of the way, and we'll be done with the stamping, I think. So there are 2 squirrels in that designer series pack. There is the squirrel with the acorn. And then there's the squirrel that is kind of crawling around. So we're going to use this squirrel this time. We used the acorn squirrel, so now we're going to use the other one. And I'm going to get the background again. So we're going to stamp the background using Early Espresso, just like with the previous. And let's go ahead and I want him to be on the ground, so he would be towards the bottom of the circle, as if he were scampering across the ground. There we go. And let's go ahead and color him in. And this time I'm going to use Cinnamon Cider. That is one of the colors that match, oh, here we go. That match that design, or matches that designer series paper. So we're going to color him in with Cinnamon Cider, full strength. So let's go ahead and ink up. All right, I'm going to line them up again. Remember, one of the most important things that I'm going to do, I don't want to color his eyeball in red. So if I kind of line the eyeballs and the ears up, I kind of get them in the right spot. So I'm going to do the same and hope for the best. Yay! Very good. Okay, we got him going good again. So we're done with that, and actually we don't have anything else to do on the squirrel. This one, that's all he needs, is just the 2 layers, the outline and then his inside color. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and this time I'm going to use the hey there. We're going to put it right here at the top. So let's grab the hey there. And right there at the top. There we go. Okay, so we're done with our stamping, I believe. I'll keep things kind of close because I may not be telling the truth, but I think we're done with the stamping. So let's go ahead and put our Stampin' Pierce mat to the side and bring in all of the other components, and we'll start assembling. I am going to put the card base and that circle aside. Actually, we'll put this one aside too. All right, here's a piece of designer series paper that I have already cut. Remember, I cut this at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, I think. Something like that. Oh, here, I can tell you. Let's double check it. Yeah, that's right, by 4 1/4. And I'm actually going to put it right in the center of that mat. So I've created like a frame for the designer series paper. You see what I've done? So let's go ahead and, oh, you know, I could use the wood side. That actually looks like it goes pretty good too. It looks like a tree like that. Do you think? Which side should I use? Should I use the designer or the tree with the leaves? Or should I use the wood grain? Oh, you think they like the leaves too, Anna? They probably do. The wood, Beth says let's use the wood grain. Her answer popped up first, so let's go ahead and we'll use the wood grain side. I like it. It looks like a tree. Let's do that. And we'll just see what we come up with here. Thank you for that, Beth. We're going to pop it right down in the middle so that we have the frame of the leaves there. And it looks like a tree, so hopefully our uh-oh, got it a little bit crooked. Hopefully our squirrel will look like he's scampering either up or down the tree. Let's just move this over a bit. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and tie ribbon. So we have our Mossy Meadow, what did we call it? Our diagonal stripe Mossy Meadow, and this time I'm not going to tie a bow. I'm going to tie a knot. I think that looks a little more rugged. And we'll tie this just in a knot. Let's turn it over. I got it flat this time. Yay me. It will sit right. I should have checked that the first time. I assumed that I had it right and I didn't. Okay, nice little knot. We'll trim the ends here. Kind of short. You know what? I like that this is kind of neutral, gender neutral, right? Not the typical colors that society has assigned to a specific gender. I like that this is kind of gender neutral, and I like the greens. Okay, so let's see. I think that's a good place. All right, so we're just going to put our squirrel at the top of the tree. So let's go ahead and adhere. I'm going to put this flat. Do I want it flat? It's so close. You know what? No, I'm not going to put it flat. Actually, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back here. I'll put 4 of them since I've already put adhesive there to kind of keep the adhesive. Let's make this layer dimensional. It'll pull it away from that yellow background. I think you'll be able to see the yellow mat a little better because they're so close in size. I was afraid that if I cut this yellow mat too big, it would cover a lot of the wood. So I cut them kind of close together. That's okay. This is what happens when we're really creating in real time. There we go. Okay, and then we'll put this layer down flat. Let's try that. And we will add our little squirrely squirrel right to the top here. And let's move the ribbon down a little bit. All right. Let's grab our bone folder. We can't forget to crease our edges. Wow, this reminds me of camping, and I think it is the deep color of the Mossy Meadow. But let's go ahead and attach our layer to the card base. Whoops. Gluing this right down to my tabletop. I don't want to do that. And we'll attach it. And then let's give them some kind of bling or something. I don't even know where I'll put it. Let's see. You guys know where we're going. Let's grab the bling box and see what we have that would match. Ooh, so these would match pretty good. And we have, oh, you know what? We have those new, what did we get? We have the new, these. That might match too. I don't know. Let's not make it shiny. Let's not make it shiny. Let's make it, these are the matte decorative dots. I'm not even sure what color that yellow one is, but oh, we could even use, gosh, we could even use the green. What do we want to use? I don't know where we're going to put them. Let's use the yellow. We'll use a couple different sizes. Let's use a bigger one. We'll put it here. And we'll use a couple of smaller ones. Let's see. I don't know. Let's put this one here. And let's put this one here. There we go. All right, and then the last thing that we should do is we should probably put a mat on the inside here. So let's do that. We have a piece of basic white, 5 1/4 by 4, and let's stamp it a little bit. Let's put that cute little acorn. Let's see if there's an outline. Is there an outline for that acorn? There's not an outline for that acorn. The only outline for the acorn is on the squirrel. So I think that might look kind of funny. Let's just go ahead with the leaf. We will do the leaf and we will stick with the Mossy Meadow. How about we do that? Just put a couple of oak leaves in the corner here, and then we'll call it complete. Let's see, do we want it upside down? Yeah, let's do that. There. Okie dokie. Let's close this up. And we will attach this to the inside. So our card is complete except for the sentiment, but that's okay. You guys know that I like to add my sentiments later. If you don't know that and you're newer, the reason I like to do it is I can decide on the sentiment that suits me when I have need for the card. So there we go. That's what the inside looks like. And here is the outside. So here is card number 2. Squirrely number 2. I like this green. I like the dark colors. It looks like, I don't know, it reminds me of camping or hiking. I like it. Okay, and then let's bring in card number 1 again. So here's the first card we made. Both of these cards using the let's see, Nuts About Squirrels. Let's put the little pieces back. The Nuts About Squirrels stamp set. And again, this is only $17, so this is so cute. I like it. Okay, I hope you guys like the cards that we made tonight. Let's go ahead and turn up so we can say goodnight. Hello there. Let's get us tight in there. All right, you guys, I hope that you liked the cards that we made. I think they were pretty simple, easy peasy, and there was stamping there that was pretty fun, I think. I like it. I like the fall colors. It gets me all excited about crafting. I am so excited about crafty time coming up. So, yes. You think that they're oak leaves. Anna says she thinks they're oak leaves. I think they're oak leaves too. Makes sense with the acorn. Oh, me. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget, if you want monthly card class or if you'd like to sign up for bingo, both of the registrations are open. Information is in the event section of my business page. And as always, I appreciate you being here and allowing me to create with you. Thank you so much for being here. As I said in the beginning, I come on Thursday nights around 7:15 to share a little bit of crafty with you. And what that means is that I will be back with you again next week. So thank you so much for the likes and loves. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay cool. I will see you soon. Bye, guys.